samla pule na kishlem pule pa pher aka district jong bhoi district kilawan menshim benta shitham aka iatai ma kran paitbah aka rinsan kabla tipkum ka district level Viksit Bharat Youth Parliament blalong benta ka si bhoi college kani ka program kadai ka rinsan ka bakrpang banailan iki samla ban penpau yaki jing perkhan jongki halor ki mat ki bakongsan ki biadai mat kari mat ka synshar paitbah ka jing thmu jong kani ka youth parliament ka long ban penshlori ki samla ban long ki nong yanam ban nishim benta ha ki jing yatai paitbah bat ban ai ka jing yo I jingai jongki na ka benta ban wanra ya ka roi par ha ka ri kat kum ka thong Viksit Bharat Adrit 2047 Hakani ka rinsan ki samla pule ki layo benta ban penpau ye ki jing perkhat jong ki halor ka pang 50 years of emergency lesson for Indian democracy bat lingba ka jing kran bat jing ta jong ki samla pule ki la penpau ya ka jing sngo jong ki kumnu ban pen klan ya ka judgment rio bat ban kyntiew ye ka kam synshar paitbah ye ka ni ka program na pelong daga national service scheme NSS unit jong ka bhoi college ha ka jing lang bat corpus jong ka mai bharat bhoi district ha ga ni ka sni ka kong bala kyntiew rani EDC jong ka bhoi district kala shim benta kum ka kong san ha ka jing dan lang ka kong YV samle program officer jong ka NSS unit bhoi college kinong bishar ha ka ni ka jing ta ki kantup yo Michael teammate deputy director jong ka mai bharat bhoi Matthew Makado, MDC, jangka Khas Hills Autonomous District Council, ka Dr. E. Kharkungwar, Principal Bhoi College, ka kong L. Yao Panyao, Assistant Professor, bat ka kong Patricia Lingdua, Assistant Public Prosecutor. Ha kabakut jangka jingatai, la sa miki kusnam, shikinong jom, agaba u Gaurav Kumar Barwa, ulawan hakakadan maningkong, ulam prang tensong, ulawan baar, bat uwan mi Russell Makdo, ulawan hakakadan balai. Kini kilay ngut ringkan, bat sa nyongut kiwepan, kibala shajit, din sa mikman, yaka district, shaka state level, kabansalong hanong ba shilong.
50 years of emergency, lesson for Indian democracy. Today, let us look back 5 decades ago and reflect on the decision that led the Prime Minister Indira Gandhi to declare emergency, a moment that remained a powerful lesson of Indian democracy. After India's victory in 1971 war, India stood proud and united. Yet behind that success, the economy was struggling, inflation was rising, and employment was growing. It was not the powerful who suffered most. It was the poor mother who could not afford rice for her children, the poor father who returned home jobless, the young graduate holding a degree but seeing no future ahead. The public anger against corruption spread across the nation as student protests in Gujarat and Bihar, led by the Jaya Prakash Narayan, demand accountability from the government. That in June 1975, after Allahabad High Court found Prime Minister Indira Gandhi guilty of electoral malpractice, despite the conditional stay from the Supreme Court, a national emergency was declared on 25th June 1975 under the Article 352. By morning, fundamental rights were suspended, voices were silent, press was censored. Speaking against government is dangerous, when more than thousands of citizens were detained, marking one of the darkest moments in the Indian history.
1975 was not just an ordinary political event. It was a moment that changed the entire country. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, honorable members, jurists, judges, and all the aspiring youths gathered here today. I rise before you as Prime Minister Makdo, representing the Bolan College. I'll start. 50 years ago, this country which we live in today was not the same. It faced a hardship, troubles, and crisis. And living in this country at that time was very, very hard. Ladies and gentlemen, that was happened because of the national emergency. The Article 352 declared the national emergency in our country. That was the reason that made India face that type of problem. Though the emergency lasted for 2 years, from 1975 to 1977, but it changed the entire country. It changed the thinking of every people of the country. It changed the thinking of the youth, because at that time, the press was censored, opposition leaders was being jailed, and many people, the ordinary people, was being shut down. That was, ladies and gentlemen, the national emergency. We think of national emergency, we doesn't think what had happened to our country. But we think how it shaped the mindset of the youth of the country. We, as a youth of this generation, the Viksit Bharat youth, we must have a thinking, a positive thinking, that what happened in the past, what we have changed in the future, and how, as a youth of this generation, we can change the mindset of the coming generation. Because this is the opportunity that we can change as a youth of the country. And this is a platform that we can able to make and shape the entire country, not just through what we have done in the past, but we can change the future, what we are going to do in this present generation.
Into darkness. But in that darkness, we grasp a profound lesson. Democracy can't be taken for granted. We must be vigilant, protecting our constitution. Leaders should be doers, not just lawmakers.
Imagine waking up to a world where morning newspapers are banned. No editorials, no critics, just government-sanctioned silence. On 26 June 1975, it wasn't just a nightmare, but it was a harsh reality for millions of Indians. A 21-month chapter of a history where we, the people of Indian Constitution, was being silenced but by will of the one. Namaskar, greetings to the honorable members and citizens of this Viksit Bharat. We are here not to discuss a mere line which is 50 years of emergency and lesson for Indian democracy, but we are here to discuss about the darkest chapter of Indian history and the failure of Indian democracy. Honorable members, it began with a very simple court verdict, which is in the Allahabad High Court, which ruled against the then Prime Minister. But it ended up with the suspension of our very first, that is the suspension of the fundamental right to life and personal liberty. Honorable member, we should understand that under Article 352, the word internal disturbance became a blank check for the members to use it as an absolute power. Honorable members, the facts are sobering. Over 1 lakh people were detained was tried under the maintenance of Internal Securities Act. The press was restricted. The very power to supply to the Delhi's newspapers were been officially cut down to literally stop the printing of the protest. Honorable members, the thousands of ordinary citizens were sent to sterilization drive and the thousands were displaced in the slum demolitions.
And expressions were suspended. Newspapers were placed under strict censorship, and all this was justified in the name of protecting India's security. But honorable judges, it is not the nation that was insecure.
At the moment for me to be present with you, in the form of the program that is being held in the college, and there are racial kind of violence. I think that the program started at 11, and I must have missed something very interesting. You were saying the art of presenting yourself, your views, your opinions, participating in the youth parliament. So I think it's a very dynamic environment that I'm visiting today, and gives me extreme pleasure to be gathered and address bright young minds who are here to learn the art of conversation, to learn the art of presenting yourself, your point of view. So I think it's a very relevant program in collaboration with my government. I think we all know, and we will give, I think without assuming too much, I gather that most of the participants here today are very much aware of the concept or the tagline of my Yuva Bharat or my Viksit Bharat. Okay, are you all aware of that? Do you know what we mean by Viksit Bharat? Yes or no?
Yes.
Have you ever looked up? Have you ever Googled the meaning of Viksit Bharat? What is it? What is it about? We're looking at a vision. Viksit Bharat is a vision of India 2047, where we would have achieved that vision that our Prime Minister had envisioned for the country, a developed country where everyone is given the opportunity to prosper. And with the program that I have been shared by the principal, I've seen that today you're having a department where you will giving the opportunity to speak, to present your views and opinions. So Viksit Bharat in the vision 2047 of Viksit Bharat, the youth has a very crucial role to play. We are envisioning a country that has a very, very young population who takes part to live up to the vision of our Prime Minister. So what I would like to address here today in front of the